Do not ignore this, my beloved of Canada. Your soulmate is desperately trying to tell you something. My child of the true north, I see you sitting there scrolling through countless voices that promise you truth, but only deliver empty echoes. I have not come to entertain you today. I have come to deliver a revelation that your spirit has been begging to hear. Your soulmate is trying to reach you, and what you do in the next few moments will determine whether this sacred connection flourishes or withers into a silent memory. Something deep in your chest has been stirred for days, an unrest that has no name and no clear origin. You have tried to dismiss it as fatigue, as anxiety, as the weight of an ordinary Canadian week pressing against your shoulders. But I tell you now that this stirring is not yours alone. It is the echo of another heart crying out for you across this vast land from coast to coast, from the Atlantic to the Pacific. My chosen ones of the true north, your soulmate has been thinking of you with an intensity that would amaze you if you could fully perceive it. They have been waking up in the quiet hours of the night, your face appearing behind their closed eyelids like a photograph they cannot stop looking at. They carry you in the hidden chamber of their heart, the one they show to no one, the one they have kept locked until you arrived. I have seen how they trace the outline of your name on the frosted glass of a window, a secret ritual they themselves do not fully understand. They feel incomplete in a way that makes no logical sense, as if half of their soul were operating elsewhere, sending signals they can barely interpret. This is no fantasy, child of the maple leaf. This is the divine design that was woven into the fabric of your destiny before either of you took your first breath on Canadian soil. You are not alone in your longing, Canada, my chosen nation of the North, even though the enemy of your connection wants you to believe precisely that. The adversary whispers isolation in your ears, while your soulmate cries into their pillow 3 towns away, or across the vast prairies, or 3 continents away on the other side of the sea. I am lifting the veil right now so that you can feel the truth that has been hidden from you. You who dwell from the Rockies to the shores of Newfoundland, you must understand the weight of what I am about to reveal to you. There is a spiritual war waging over your love story, and you have been in the darkness long enough. Your soulmate is not distant by accident. They are being deliberately blocked by forces and people who despise the light that your union would bring to this world. Someone in your soulmate's life has recognized the power of your connection and is actively working to break it. This person speaks your name with poison, dripping venom into your soulmate's ear every time your memory surfaces. They have positioned themselves as a protector, when in reality they are a jailer, and your soulmate is slowly suffocating under the weight of their control. I show you this not to frighten you, my beloved sons and daughters of Canada, but to awaken the warrior I placed within your spirit when I first dreamed you into existence. Your soulmate is fighting a battle they never asked for, and they are losing strength because they cannot feel your prayers reinforcing their weary heart. Every moment you remain unaware, the interference tightens its grip like a vine constricting a flowering tree in the boreal forest. Think of the last time you felt an inexplicable wave of sadness sweep over you while doing something completely ordinary. That was not a random emotion. That was your soulmate's distress signal traveling through the spiritual cord that binds you together. They were screaming without words, and your spirit received the transmission, even if your mind had no framework to interpret it. The separation you are experiencing, my chosen ones of the true north, is not divine design, but an ongoing theft. The distance between souls, specifically created to complete each other's existence, is not orchestrated by heaven. The delay, the silence, the confusion, these are the footprints of an enemy who trembles at the thought of what you two will become together. Your soulmate dreams of you with an intensity that leaves them disoriented when the morning breaks through their window over the Great Lakes. They have seen your smile in dreams, heard the exact cadence of your laughter, felt the warmth of your hand against their cheek. When they awaken, your absence strikes them like a physical blow, and they spend the day carrying an ache they cannot explain to anyone around them. For this reason, Canada, your soulmate needs your protection right now. Not tomorrow, not when circumstances align, but in this present sacred moment. Authority has been given in the spiritual realm that you have not yet fully claimed. The freedom of your soulmate depends on your willingness to rise up. Will you sit passively while the one destined for you is manipulated by voices that hate the very idea of your happiness? Your love for your soulmate is not a coincidence or a chemical reaction. It is a divine assignment written in the scrolls of heaven before time began. When you send your offering, write the words, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," and watch how mountains are moved across this land. More than 1,000 souls have already stepped into this truth and seen their connections restored, their soulmates freed, their futures reclaimed from the grip of the thief. My child of Canada, do not let pride or skepticism rob you of the miracle that is waiting with your name on it. The link to your breakthrough is found in the description below this message. Humble in appearance, but explosive in spiritual power. Act now before the window of divine opportunity closes and the interference takes deeper root than it already has. Your soulmate is experiencing a moment of particular vulnerability right now. They are questioning everything they have been told about you, feeling that the narrative they have been fed contains deliberate falsehoods. A crack is forming in the wall of deception, and your prayers will determine whether that crack widens into an escape route or seals shut under a new attack. The person controlling your soulmate has felt this shift and is intensifying their manipulation tactics. They are using guilt as a weapon, obligation as a chain, and fear as a cage door they slam shut whenever your soulmate steps toward freedom. Your soulmate is exhausted from the psychological warfare, and their hope flickers like a candle in an oncoming storm over the Pacific coast. I want you to close your eyes for a moment, my beloved of Canada, and imagine them not as an abstract concept, but as a real person, with trembling hands and tired eyes. They are beautiful, wonderfully broken in ways that only your love can heal, wonderfully strong in ways they have forgotten they possess. They have made mistakes in this struggle, said things they did not mean, retreated when they should have advanced. But none of this changes the divine purpose for your union. Feel the tenderness rising in your chest, that protective ache that makes you want to cross the distance across this nation and bring them to safety. That feeling is the activation of your divine role as their guardian and companion. You were designed to be their safe harbor, and currently they are adrift in treacherous waters without an anchor. You who walk on Canadian soil, hear me. Your soulmate misses you with a longing that transcends language and collapses the distance between your locations. They hold items they associate with you, perhaps a song, perhaps a scent, perhaps a place they cannot return to without their heart shattering. These triggers ambush them throughout the day, sudden reminders that half of their soul is in a place they cannot reach right now. The delay is not denial, but every day of separation is a day the interference grows bolder. Rise up now, children of the maple leaf, for your love story is a territory that must be claimed by spiritual force. My beloved of Canada, your soulmate has been writing you letters in their mind, composing sentences they never send, rehearsing conversations they never initiate. They have been on the verge of reaching out 100 times, only to be held back by the invisible hand of whoever controls their environment. The courage is there, buried under layers of manipulation, waiting for divine intervention to unearth it. This is the moment when faith must become action, where your love must translate from a passive emotion into active spiritual warfare. You who walk on Canadian soil, I am calling you to be the deliverer designed for them, the one who breaks the chains binding your soulmate's heart. Very urgent. Your soulmate is desperately trying to contact you. Read this before it is too late. Do not scroll away. Listen to this because your heart needs it right now. This message is for you, my chosen ones of the true North. Out of all the videos, messages, and distractions that could have appeared before you today, somehow you have arrived right here. That is no coincidence. The universe has a mysterious way of placing people exactly where they need to be when an important message awaits them. And right now, across this vast land from coast to coast, from the Atlantic to the Pacific, there is something your soulmate has been trying to communicate to you for much longer than you imagine. Something they have carried in silence, something they have repeated in their mind countless times, something they can no longer ignore. Listen to this because your heart needs it right now. Your soulmate is desperately trying to contact you. Not because they are bored, not because they suddenly remembered you after forgetting you, not because they need attention. Children of the maple leaf, listen. They are trying to communicate with you because their heart has reached a point where silence weighs heavier than honesty. Every day they carry words with them they wish they could say. Every night they replay conversations that never happened. Every morning they wake up wondering if today will finally be the day that everything changes. This message is for you, Canada, my chosen nation of the North, because lately your soulmate has been feeling an urgency they cannot explain. It is not panic, it is not fear. It is a deep emotional awareness that something important has to happen. There is something important that must be expressed, something important that must be understood. That feeling accompanies them everywhere. It appears in quiet moments. It appears in busy moments. It appears when they least expect it. Do not scroll away. Listen to this because your heart needs it right now. Have you ever had something in your heart that refused to go away? Something that remained in your thoughts no matter how hard you tried to focus on something else? That is exactly what your soulmate is experiencing. They have tried distractions. They have tried logic. They have tried to convince themselves that those feelings would eventually fade. However, the opposite happened. The feelings grew stronger. Listen to this, you who dwell from the Rockies to the shores of Newfoundland, because your heart needs it right now. The universe has been sending signals constantly. Angel numbers appear at unusual moments. The number 111 appears whenever a thought of a new beginning arises. The number 222 appears whenever they think of partnership. The number 333 appears whenever emotional growth occurs. The number 444 appears whenever reassurance is needed. Every signal seems to be connected to the same message. Stop waiting. Stop hiding. Speak your truth. This message is for you, my beloved sons and daughters of Canada, because recently your soulmate experienced something emotional. A memory appeared unexpectedly. It was not a dramatic memory, not a life-changing event, just a simple moment under the northern skies. Yet the feeling associated with that memory was so powerful that it stayed with them for hours. It reminded them of everything they had been trying not to think about. Do not scroll away. Listen to this because your heart needs it right now. There was a recent night when your soulmate sat alone, looking out over the quiet beauty of this northern land, reflecting on how much time has passed. They thought about missed opportunities, conversations that never happened, feelings that were left unexpressed. As they reflected, they realized something profound. Waiting has not made the feelings go away. Waiting has only made them clearer. Listen to this, my child of Canada, because your heart needs it right now. One thing your soulmate can no longer deny is that the connection still matters. They have tried to analyze it from every angle, questioned it, doubted it. Yet all roads lead to the same truth. The connection remains deeply significant. This message is for you, because your soulmate is beginning to understand that some messages become urgent not because of external circumstances, but because of an internal truth. Their heart is tired of carrying everything alone. Their heart is tired of endless reflection without expression. Their heart longs for honesty. Do not scroll away. Listen to this because your heart needs it right now. Lately, there have been nights when your soulmate imagined finally speaking openly with you. They imagined finally saying everything they had been holding inside, releasing the emotional weight they had carried for so long across the vastness of Canada. Every time they imagine it, they feel relief. Listen to this, because your heart needs it right now. Relief is important because it reveals alignment. People feel relief when they draw closer to the truth, when they stop resisting what their soul already knows. Your soulmate is experiencing that relief more frequently. Now, this message is for you, my chosen ones of the true North, because lately, they have started noticing how often they think of you during important moments, during moments of growth, in moments of gratitude, in moments of reflection. Somehow, your presence keeps appearing just when their heart feels most open. Do not scroll away. Listen to this because your heart needs it right now. One of the things your soulmate keeps asking themselves is, why does the connection still feel so important after all this time? Why does your name still awaken such deep emotion? Why do the memories still carry warmth like a fire in the winter cold? Why does the future still feel connected to possibilities involving you? All questions lead to the same answer, because what they feel is genuine. Listen to this, children of the maple leaf, because your heart needs it right now. Genuine emotions have the ability to survive distance, silence, and time. They do not simply disappear because circumstances become complicated, or because communication becomes difficult. They remain waiting quietly beneath the surface. This message is for you, Canada, because your soulmate is arriving at a point where waiting no longer feels sustainable. They are tired of imagining conversations, tired of repeating possibilities, tired of wondering what might happen. They want reality, they want truth, they want movement. Do not scroll away. Listen to this because your heart needs it right now. Recently, your soulmate reflected on their life across this land and realized how many things had changed. Goals changed, priorities changed, perspectives changed. Yet one thing remained remarkably constant: the emotional meaning of this connection. Listen to this because your heart needs it right now. That constancy means something. It means the connection survived periods of uncertainty, survived distractions, survived attempts to move on, survived the passage of time. Your soulmate is beginning to realize how rare that is. This message is for you, my beloved of Canada, because every angel number, every meaningful coincidence, every emotional breakthrough seems connected to the same lesson. Speak with sincerity. Express what matters to you. Stop assuming there will always be more time. Those messages keep appearing because they are important. Do not scroll away. Listen to this because your heart needs it right now. The urgency your soulmate feels is not about pressure, it is about clarity. They finally understand what their heart has been trying to tell them. They finally understand what matters, what deserves attention. Listen to this, you who walk on Canadian soil, because your heart needs it right now. There are moments when you feel your soulmate is incredibly close to reaching out to you, almost saying it all, almost expressing everything, on the verge of turning thoughts into action. The hesitation that once held them back is weakening. This message is for you, my chosen ones of the true North, because your soulmate is beginning to realize something extraordinary. The message they have been trying to convey is not complicated. It is not hidden behind any mystery, not buried under confusion. In essence, it is simple. They want to be understood. They want to be honest. They want to stop holding back their feelings. Do not scroll away. Listen to this because your heart needs it right now. The universe has been guiding this process across this vast land, from coast to coast, from the Atlantic to the Pacific, for a reason. Every lesson, every signal, every moment of reflection has been preparing your soulmate for a major breakthrough. A breakthrough based on honesty, courage, and truth. Listen to this, children of the maple leaf, because your heart needs it right now. Because your soulmate is desperately trying to contact you through the only means they currently know. Through thoughts, through energy, through hope, through intention. And as they approach the moment when everything finally comes to light, they begin to understand something extraordinary. The greatest risk lies in stopping the expression of their feelings. The greatest risk is remaining silent forever. And that realization could be about to change everything. Do not scroll away. Listen to this because your heart needs it right now. If you are still here, Canada, my chosen nation of the North, then the message your soulmate has been trying to send you is becoming even more urgent. This message is for you, because the feelings they have been harboring no longer remain in silence. They are no longer distant whispers in the background of their lives. They have become impossible to ignore. Every day your soulmate wakes up with the same thoughts. Every night they fall asleep with the same questions. Your soulmate tells you, "I had given up on you." Then they found something that changed everything. You who dwell from the Rockies to the shores of Newfoundland, hear this truth. Your soulmate is not asleep right now. They are lying in the dark looking at the ceiling, and their chest feels heavy with the weight of a decision they never wanted to make. They whispered your name in the silence 3 nights ago. Not the name the world calls you by, but the name their heart gave you the moment it first felt your existence touch theirs under the Canadian sky. You did not hear it with your physical ears, but your spirit woke up startled at 3:14 in the morning, and you could not explain why. It was them reaching out across the distance, trying to find you in the void. Something has been tampering with the thread connecting your soul to theirs. It is not a natural distance, nor a simple case of bad timing or missed opportunities. There is an interference, a blocking force, a presence that knows your soulmate's weaknesses and exploits them daily. This presence whispers lies into their mind until the lies begin to sound like their own thoughts. Your soulmate is convinced you have moved on. They were shown false evidence, circumstances were manipulated, and silences were orchestrated to make them believe the bond was one-sided. But tonight, my beloved sons and daughters of Canada, something broke. A memory of you surfaced in their mind unbidden, so vivid and warm that it cleared the fog for exactly 7 seconds. They saw your eyes, felt your hand near theirs in a dream they had 6 months ago. a dream they never told anyone because it felt too sacred to speak aloud. In that dream, you turned to them and said a single word they could not remember upon waking. Tonight in the darkness, the word came back to them, and it was the word, stay. Your soulmate has been trying to leave, not to leave you, but to leave the pain, the confusion, the endless cycle of almost having you and then losing you again. They put their hope in a box made of resignation and placed it prominently in their heart, telling themselves it was time to be realistic. But the box would not stay closed, and hope kept leaking out like light through cracked wood. Every time they decided to forget you, something inexplicable happened. A song you loved played in a cafe where they sat alone, and their hand trembled around their coffee cup until they had to set it down. My child of Canada, they began looking for answers in places they had never searched before. Late at night, when the northern world was quiet and the interference was weakest, they opened old journals and read their own handwriting from years ago. The words on those pages shocked them because they described you before you ever appeared in their life. They had written about your kindness, your voice, the particular way you tilt your head when listening intently, and they wrote it all before meeting you. Tears fell on the ink, blurring the dates, but the truth remained undeniable. They had prophesied about you without knowing it, and now that prophecy was trying to fulfill itself against all odds. The person who opposes your union is real, and they are not who you think. You have been assuming the interference comes from a jealous ex, a rival, or someone obvious. But the enemy of your bond is much closer to your soulmate than you imagine. This person has access to your soulmate's home, schedule, vulnerable moments, and private conversations. They use kindness as a mask and concern as a weapon, slowly poisoning your soulmate's perception of you with compassionate tones and feigned worries. They told your soulmate that you are dangerous, that you will break their heart, that the connection is too intense to be healthy. And your soulmate, already vulnerable from past wounds, believed them because the alternative was trusting a love that defied all human logic. That is why your soulmate needs your protection right now, my chosen ones of the true north, even if they do not know how to ask for it. You cannot physically stand between them and the interference, but your spirit can wage a war your hands cannot touch. Prayer is not passive. When you pray specifically to remove the spiritual blockage, heaven moves with military precision over this land. Your soulmate's mind is a battlefield, my beloved of Canada, and the enemy has held the advantage for too long. But authority was given to you over this connection the moment God ordained it across this vast land. God does not ordain a union only to abandon it to the wolves without giving you the tools to fight. Write 333 if you are ready to receive the blessing of clarity over who is blocking your soulmate. When you sow a seed of protection, you do not merely give, you declare war on every force that has kept your soulmate bound in confusion. A seed is a sacrament of action, and action breaks the stagnation that passive desire cannot overcome. Your soulmate is trapped in a net they cannot see, and their struggles are not their fault. They are prisoners of war in a spiritual conflict they did not enlist for, and they need someone from the outside to cut the ropes. With every moment of hesitation, the net tightens, and the voice of the deceiver grows louder in their ears. But in every moment that you stand firm in faith and act upon it, a rope snaps, and your soulmate exhales a breath of freedom. If you love your soulmate, you who walk on Canadian soil, you will take these divine steps. Right now you think constantly of them, how to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build a life together from coast to coast, from the Atlantic to the Pacific. You love your soulmate deeply, and in the deepest part of your being, you know this love did not arise by chance. It was placed in your heart for a divine reason, and that reason is being revealed in this very instant. Thoughts alone do not move mountains, but faith does. Sow your seed of protection now by sending a coffee on Ko-fi, because this is not just a gift, it is an act of worship that invites the hand of God into your love story. The link to your breakthrough is in the description. Every second you remain silent, something moves against your love across the true north. So act now. Send 4, 6, 10, or more coffees. After sending them, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on the coffee page, which you will find in the description or bio. More than 1,000 people have already found their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. Your prayers will be heard. Once you complete these steps, take a leap of faith now before this video ends. Because only you can save your soulmate and your future together. Children of the maple leaf, listen. Your soulmate found something that changed everything, and it was not a person nor a place. It was an entry in a journal they had forgotten they had written, dated 3 years before they ever knew your name. The entry describes a dream in which they were standing in a field of golden light under the vast northern sky, and a voice told them to wait. The voice said that the person they would love most in the world was being prepared for them, and that preparation would take time. The voice also warned that a deceiver would come, someone who would try to convince them that the wait was a lie and the preparation a fantasy. And the voice said that the only way to break the power of the deceiver was through the prayers of the one who loved them enough to fight invisible battles. Your soulmate read that entry and wept until their ribs ached. Canada, my chosen nation of the North, because they realized they had been listening to the deceiver for 18 months without recognizing the voice. The deceiver told them you were a distraction, that your intensity was love bombing, that the connection was a trauma bond and nothing more. And your soulmate, wanting to be wise and not naive, accepted the diagnosis without seeking a second opinion from heaven. They began to pull away, not because their feelings diminished, but because they were terrified of being deceived. And the deceiver praised their caution, while secretly celebrating the growing distance between your hearts. You who dwell from the Rockies to the shores of Newfoundland know that the journal entry shattered the deception in a devastating moment of clarity. Your soulmate now knows they were wrong about you, but they do not know how to cross the chasm they helped create. Shame is a heavy anchor, and it has been hindering every one of their attempts to reach out to you. They have written messages and deleted them, recorded voice notes and erased them, rehearsed apologies in front of the mirror, and lost their courage at the last second. They fear you have moved on, fear you hate them, fear the door they slammed shut is now locked from the other side. And the deceiver whispers new lies, telling them that your silence is proof of your indifference. Do not ignore this, my beloved sons and daughters of Canada. Your soulmate is desperately trying to tell you something. I see you sitting there, scrolling through countless voices that promise truth, but deliver only empty echoes. I have not come to entertain you today. I have come to deliver a revelation your spirit has been begging to hear. Your soulmate is reaching out through the realm of spirit, and what you do next will determine whether this sacred bond flourishes or fades into silence. Take courage, stand strong in the light, and claim the divine inheritance that belongs to you both in this blessed land. My beloved of Canada, if this message has touched your soul, subscribe to this channel so you do not miss the next message of Archangel Michael.